we used to call it Tin Creek. Now it's because people used to dump their garbage in there, but now we call it Muskroom Creek because we're very proud of that. And I want to thank you for the work that you're doing and continue to do. And we know that the salmon is the biggest part of our environment. And they're the biggest part of our ecosystem because they feed the forest, they feed the bears. Now that the bears don't have the salmon to feed on, they're going into people's yards and they're going into people's dry salmon, those that are dry. They're invading them. They're invading others where to feed on because they need that fat for the winter. And I want to, yes.
Rose, thanks a lot, and thanks for that tin of sockeye you gave me. It was delicious.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks a lot, Don, for tuning in with our program here. I just want to kind of update everybody, bring everybody up to date. It'll only take me a minute to do this. It's pretty important to bring it all together. I want people to know and understand that Don has been working with Alexandra Morton, who is a biologist who has been doing the research in regards to the fish farms. And they have been bringing a lot of information to the general public and to those of us that are interested in sustaining the salmon runs and making sure that they continue on forever. And I want to say that they actually were responsible for the walk that started at the north end of Vancouver Island here last spring and walked all the way down to Victoria. Now by the time they got to Victoria, there wound up being something like 1,000 people or more on the legislative grounds where they met, and they were complaining about the way the salmon were being treated. They brought it to the attention of all British Columbians, and then beyond that they also started a canoe run from, I think it started in Prince George or somewhere in that neighborhood, and they paddled down the Fraser River right to the mouth, and they landed at Musqueam, and Rose was there to greet them as well when they landed. And we had 2 days of gathering together and raising again the issue of the loss of salmon in this province. And I want to thank you, Don, and I'd like to thank Alexandra Morton, but of course she's not available right now, and maybe at some time in the future we'll have her speak to us. But you have both done a great job, and I want to thank you very much for the work that you have done. And I also want to thank all of those other people that have been involved throughout that whole process. And that's where we're at today. There's a lot of reasons, of course, why the salmon are disappearing. But one of them, of course, we have been able to identify through the work that they have done, that it is the fish farms. I want to make one more comment in regards to that at this point. In the last about 10 days, every single day in the newspapers and on TV, there are articles that are being run by the fish farms. And the gist of what they're saying is that all of the information that is being given out by people like us is false information, and that in fact these fish farms are great and they're going to feed all the people. But in the meantime, they're going to kill the wild runs. And of course we can't accept that. There's another way they can run fish farms. I'm not against them, but I certainly am against them in the waters where our salmon run. And I will fight those fish farms to the very end.
Yeah, I participated in the paddle, and so there were 200 people in and out in this journey, and it was amazing. Like, I thought I'm just gonna go paddle down the river and see fish and that kind of thing, but to launch out of Catesy and have the people there so thankful that we're doing this. It was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And then getting greeted at Musqueam, of First Nation descent. I'm Filipino and kind of white on the inside, but it's like, it just blew me away just to be welcomed with so much spirit and soul and singing for fish. It blew me away, and I want to thank the people, First Nations people, for standing up. And a friend of mine said First Nation people, Aboriginal people are environmentalists with broken hearts because they understand what the land is about and what it can give us and how it feeds us spiritually as well as in our stomachs. So keep standing up and keep passing on the message. Eventually everybody will get it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jay. And I might also add that obviously you can tell by Don's accent, he's not an Aboriginal person either. Are you?
No, I'm English for my sins. I'm sorry. This is my penance to try and help you guys in British Columbia fight off the European menace of the salmon farms.
Right on. Okay, well I had to do that. And also Alexander Morton is not an Aboriginal person either. And I'm raising this because it's really important. That's how important the salmon are to a lot of people, not just the Aboriginal people, although we are totally dependent upon the salmon for part of our food supply and have been for thousands of years. And we really appreciate the help and support from other people. And I thank all three of you for the work that you've done up to this point. Now, we have a young lady with us as well. And I won't speak for her, I'll let her speak for herself.
Hi, my name is Nakasana Salewa Gould. My nickname's Nikki because some of my friends can't pronounce it, but I'm sort of starting to become somewhat of an environmental activist. Just up and coming. I think one of the first steps is spreading awareness, for sure. I started a Facebook group which actually has gotten pretty big. I didn't start that long ago, but I've been posting links about some petition sites, environmental ideas, stuff like that. Just encouraging people to step up and help with the environment. I was actually surprised about how many of my friends were actually into it. Like, kind of seemed like they'd be like, oh, whatever, that's stupid, we can't do anything. But it's actually quite made a difference, like around my group of friends and acquaintances and all them. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to add, I'm Aboriginal. My name Nakusena Salewa means sun angel in Mi'kmaq. We're from the East Coast. And just as an Aboriginal youth, I kind of feel the need to, protect the land. And I feel that my generation is, of course, the up-and-coming generation, and it's our job to conserve the planet, conserve our land, because the adults won't be around to do it much longer, So yeah.
Now, I really want to thank Nakuset Gould for being here, and because she represents the youth. And the youth is the future of this land, and certainly represents the youth, the future of the Aboriginal community, not only in British Columbia, but right across this country. And I'm really pleased that you're involved, and I'm pleased that you come from a group of young people who are getting involved, and that's really great. I'm really looking forward to the time when I can step back and say, I've done enough, and you can take over. I'm looking forward to that day.
Thank you.
I do want to say one other thing though, and here I am talking too damn much. I wasn't even supposed to be talking at all, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to talk anyway. We were supposed to have someone from the Wilderness Committee here, and I know a couple of things that they would have been talking about for sure. First, Number one is the forest. And of course the ecology of this province is very dependent upon the forest, and we all know what has happened to the forest in this province over the years. We have clear cuts all over this province, and it is a total disaster as far as the animals and the birds and the fish and the waters and all of those other things are concerned. And it's something that we all have to be aware of, and it's also our responsibility to make sure that the trees survive, because if they don't, we won't either. Now the other issue that I know is a major issue in this province right now is the fact that the province of British Columbia has been issuing permits to individuals to dam up rivers in this province. And my understanding is that there are something like in the neighborhood of 300 and some odd permits have been issued. And the majority of those permits have been issued to people who are not Canadians or British Columbians in particular, and in fact are foreign controlled. Now that's what this government has done. And I didn't really want to attack this government, but yes I did. But anyway, there is no question that we have to be concerned about what is happening to the water in this province. And other nations and other people are beginning to assume that they are the rightful owners of our water and to our detriment, and there's no way we can stand for that. And that is another issue that we all have to be aware of and concerned over. Rose, thank you very much, Rose, for coming up here, and I'm sure you've got something else to say. No. You're through?
No, just again, I'd like to remind everybody that, you know, it's good to make use of your time on this planet and just get as much done as you can for the planet, because, you know, it is your home. It's your children's home, your grandchildren's home, great-grandchildren, everything, and, yeah, it pretty much is our job to reverse the damage that we've done, because it is our damage. Nobody else is gonna do it. You know, recycling, buying green products, biodegradable packaging, or less packaging for certain things. Trying to minimize your carbon footprint, stuff like that. I just think, you know, it's not that hard. Like, some people are just, you know, too lazy to really do anything, but you know, as easy as just, you know, buying more eco-friendly products, you know, not littering, of course, you know, making sure that every decision that you make will, you know, help conserve the planet, because, you know, every decision you make, it goes out into your outside world and it ends up affecting everything. So, you know, people should just take every one of their actions with consideration for the planet. Yeah.
Thank you. Ron, are you still there?
Yeah, I'd just like to, you know, thank, you know, Rose and Nakase and everybody here. I think one of the striking images to me from the paddle and the walk was the participation of young First Nations women. We had, from Tofino here, we had Latera Lawson, who was 11, who walked 400 kilometers from Tofino to Victoria with her mother. We had 14-year-old Melina Dawson from Kincombe, who walked all the way from Port McNeill to Victoria. And we had an 8-year-old lady from Bowen Island who paddled all the way down the Fraser from Hope to Vancouver with her dad. So these are powerful, strong leaders of tomorrow. We're honored by the presence of Rose, who's led us for a long time and is a very powerful leader of her community. And I think one of the great things to take home from today and look forward to tomorrow is the fact that we have these powerful leaders. And I think, you know, guys got us in this mess. I think women are going to get us out of it.
Thank you, Ron. And thank Ron for his involvement here, and we thank you for being involved, Don. And we've just run out of time here also. As a matter of fact, we've been infringing upon Jay's time. and